Hi, everybody. Sorry we had a little delay. So, we are going to get started on the Advent calendar that I use, and I'm just, there we go, making sure everything is working. There were pictures. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Ann. And this is, of course, what we'll be creating, but I want to show you a couple of things with the paper collection. And there we go. We don't want the camera swinging. It's kind of big to see on camera. And this one I didn't quite finish. We did a live, Sally and I, while she was here, and let me get that autofocus off. And I did show a little bit using, you can see the sparkle of the glitter. We used the glitter spray, and then this was the crackle paste. This is going to be a two-parter. Hi, Linda. Hi, Teresa. We can't really go on to this part until these are done. And then these two take, I'd like to let them dry about 24 hours once we put our boxes completely together. And the reason is, well, it's obvious. When you start decorating, you don't want these to come apart because, you don't want them to, of course. So we're going to put our boxes together. This was the prototype. So like I said, there were some parts that aren't completely finished because I want to put the chipboard on the bottom, which is just the lightweight chipboard, because I'm going to use the graphic 45 feet. I do want to put mine on feet. You can also make a base. I'll show you a couple of different things. Now, this is different than my past Advent. There is another tutorial from years ago where I used the boxes, but there was no way really to cover the back. And of course, this is the Santa's Little Helper, 8x8. If you want to create, this is perfect for your 8x8. See, there's the back. I had glued it down, not thinking, and there's the back side. This is just the prototype. That's why it looks this way, but it's still usable. And this will just flip up, but it's still a really pretty decoration. We showed live how we put different darling things up here at the top, and I have those, so I'll be putting them in the finished one. And also, many of you know we now have a new puppy, Homer. Now Homer, let me see if I can get a shot over here on the floor. I know my camera's upside down. Oh, I can't quite get there. Sorry, guys. I was going to get there. He is curled up in a ball of sleep. Now that I made you all dizzy. Of course, Wilbur is next to me with the ball. Hopefully, we won't get any howling. So also, I wanted to show you really quick with our Santa's Little Helper. I've already got my frame started just from Hobby Lobby, the 8x8 frame and the hot cocoa, and then I'll put this at my hot cocoa bar. Actually, it's my coffee bar. So a lot of fun things you can do with the Santa's Little Helper, and this is the 8x8. So I'm going to use it again. And the 8x8 collection also has the darling, there we go, 4x4s. Cute little booklets, just a lot of cute little things. Anything that you want, really, you can use those for. And I'll set that aside. Now, if you bought your boxes, you may have, I know some of you bought them from last year. You're going to have a different size. I'm going to move this from the camera so I don't make a lot of noise. Okay, I'm just going to dump them out. Hi, Diane. Oh, and the knobs. So these knobs, I did show those when we were live. They come from just Hobby Lobby. They're the little plastic, not plastic, wooden knobs. And then I just glue them with these 6000, and they're very sturdy. So you're going to notice they're a little bit different in different size. You have, it's about 1/8 of an inch around. Not a lot. Actually, it's just that 1/8 of an inch up front. So they're not a lot smaller, but small enough you're going to notice a difference, but it won't matter in creating our project here because I'll give you the right sizes. That's why I didn't want to get another one put together. So we're going to use 24 of the boxes, and I stack them 6 and 4. And then I did get the rubber bands. I bought a whole bunch just off of Amazon. because you just want them, big ones. They're handy. It makes this project so much easier. Then we'll be using some lightweight chipboard, and I'm hoping we get that cut tonight. And it's the lightweight chipboard I sell at Country Craft Creations. And that's what I used for my roof, which you want because it's a little more flexible. But if you don't have the lightweight chipboard, you can use regular chipboard. It's still going to work. And then when we get to that point, you'll want a hot glue gun. So we'll just start by putting our boxes together. And at this point, it's not even really going to matter if they're upside down or, so don't worry about it because you can always take your box out, see, and change it around. So what we're going to do is, these are helpful. Like I said, we're going to stack. We're going to stack them. I did 6 and then 4. And there's a lot of configurations. And I may do a couple of other configurations that I want to do to show you. But we'll start with this one, the house. And I was going to show you something else now. It just slipped my mind really quick. Okay, it'll come back to me. So it will come back. Hi, Sandy. So we're going to start with, I start with 3. So I do them in 3s, and then we stack 3 on 3, and then we'll make our whole square. Hi, Judy. Until it looks like this. And then, this is so sturdy. You can use this year after year after year. And, oh, it was the numbers. So next Tuesday is part 2 at 5:30. And I'm going to do them with my Cricut. Now, if you've got some numbers, they're only going to be about a 1/2 inch. And then I'll just put them throughout. You could even write on these if you have got fabulous handwriting. But I'll be doing them with the Cricut and just cutting some little 1/2 inch letters or numbers. And then I'll post the file in Scrapbookers if you want to use it. Or you can use stickers. Gosh, just about anything you want to use for your numbers. And then for this, I'm going to take my little top off because it's just not enough glue. Now, a lot of you have asked, well, can I make these? Yes, you can make them. But I'm going to be honest with you, they're not going to be sturdy enough. These are chipboard. So these boxes, that's why they cost them. They are chipboard. They are finished. You don't even have to put pattern paper on the inside unless you want to. And because they're chipboard, and this is a lightweight chipboard, they're going to be a lot sturdier and they're going to last longer. Now, if you make them out of your cardstock, they're going to smash when you put them all together. I know because that's how I originally tried my cube, the one that I made years ago that's on my YouTube. It will smash. So we're just going to start with 3. And I don't worry about getting to the edge. Just I go down the middle. And we're just going to line them up. Hello, Anne Marie. And put the next one on. So we're going to let the rubber band do its job. Now, I still do like to use something that's a little bit heavy that you can put on top of here. So one thing I've got is my stacker. It's full of sand. So I'm just going to set that on top. And I know it's kind of hard to see with the views of the camera, but it's just sitting there on top of it so that it adds that extra weight to kind of hold it together. So yeah, I like to always move the boxes to make sure there's nothing maybe inside that needs to be glued down. Baby is doing really well. Actually, he's asleep. I tried to get him in the camera, but he is asleep. When he wakes up, maybe I can show him at the camera. He's a really good little puppy. He's a good beagle puppy, let me tell you. And his name is Homer. Well, thank you, Mary. He is pretty cute. We love him. Okay. You want to make sure everything is lined up. You know, our glitter glue does dry quite fast. But we still are going to leave them all together until we get all of them put together in threes. There we go. See, that one was a little tight. I used little wooden knobs that I show in the beginning from Hobby Lobby. You can get at Michael's. They're just a little 3/8 of an inch round wooden knobs. And then E6000 to glue them on. Now I looked for knobs to carry at the store, but they're cheaper to get them at your Hobby Lobby or or Joann's. Joann's especially because you can use a coupon. Hobby Lobby's because they will go on sale. And I had the package. I'm not really sure where it ran off to. But you can go back to a live that I did with Sally just a couple weeks ago, and I show the package. But they're in their unfinished wood aisle. So just go to the unfinished wood. And if you made the past one from years ago, they're the same knobs. And 3 more. Really doesn't take long. Even matting, when we do the matting here, because we don't have to do any matting on the outside. So that's what our lightweight chipboard is for. Like I said, if you get one upside down, it's okay. I did do an advent calendar in the past, and it was we used the boxes. It is on my YouTube, and if you're in Scrapbooker, Stacy, and just look up, put in the search Advent Cube Box. It's an Advent Cube Box. We did it as a box, so it was different. But it uses the same amount of boxes. And also Jennifer Palmer on our design team, she did a wreath. Oh my gosh, did you guys see the wreath? It's adorable. So it's over on Jennifer Palmer's YouTube channel, and she does a wreath in a circle with the boxes. Really fun ideas. So if you're making more than one for your family, you could do a couple of different styles, because I'll be doing a different style with this too. Oh, you're welcome. And then also the one from past years with these, and then I'm going to be doing a different one just to kind of give you different ways to stack your boxes. And because the boxes are pre-made, it really does save you time, especially if you're making them for more than one family member or for your dogs, or maybe you want to make them for, Dawn had mentioned a Halloween countdown. I was supposed to get black boxes in, but they don't have them. They didn't show up. So I didn't get the black ones in. Oh, and plus they're going to be like $1 a box more. It was ridiculous. But they're still on order, so if anybody wants them, I just don't know when they'll be here. You could do this for a birthday. Okay. Make sure sometimes they're a little bit tight. Fun to display. And like I said, there's a live. Sally and I did it while she was here. She came when we picked up Homer, and we show the different things we purchased. So you could do it as a nativity and using the Echo Parks. Can't remember the name of it, but it's their Bethlehem paper. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Hi, Linda. I have a little bit more than that. And of course, don't forget for the pets. Good. Well, we're glad you're feeling better. See, that's why I like to use a little extra glue. Also, it gives you more drying time so that you can straighten things up. And yes, thank goodness we did get the art glitter glue. It's on its way. It should deliver tomorrow. So if you've ordered, but we have to wrap it in foil and because it's cold. And the 8 ounces and the 16-ounce bottles came in. They still don't have 4-ounce bottles, and by the time they get them, they won't be shipping anymore. They've been having to fill bottles by hand at Art Glitter Glue. Machinery broke down, but they're also now out of glue, she said. So I got my order, and I was so thankful. I know you are too. Okay. Rubber bands and clothespins. 2 of my favorite things in crafting. They give you the extra hand you need. Even though I am using quite a bit, I'm not using really that much glue. I mean, so don't feel like, I mean, it's still a little tip, and it does look more than it really is. And I have tried hot glue with these, and it didn't last. So totally up to you. Just to let you know, I have tried other glues, and I have tried hot glue. If you do E6000, it works, but you got to let them dry overnight before you start working on them. So with these, if you're going to use like E6000, I'd put them together and then walk away. Leave them for the night. Okay. See, it really doesn't take long. Not long at all. Still be a little gentle when you're taking off your rubber bands, and you'll still need those rubber bands. I would just still let them sit. Okay, and we'll let that one dry. And we're basically now going to repeat by putting 6 together. Now, when I mentioned that I was going to do, let me lay it down this way, other configurations. So I should have showed you before. but just pretend there's boxes here. So I've got some other configurations in mind, and with the little village on top, that will do also. So now we're just going to put these guys together. You're still going to need a rubber band that will go all the way around. Preferably, if you don't, maybe somebody can just hold it for you. Like I said, don't worry if your boxes are upside down, because you'll just switch your drawers around. Okay. So it's easier just to put these two together once you've gotten three together. And I'm not going to put anything heavy on this one because this is pulling it pretty tight as opposed to just 3 drawers. Make sure everything's lined up. I almost put my drawers on there. Make sure. Hi, Tanya. How you doing tonight? And our last 3. See how fast that goes when they're pre-made? Okay. We're still going to need the rubber bands. This one needs more time to dry. I'm going to flip them this way. I'm not going to take the rubber band off yet. I want to check. No, we've got some drying to do. So let's let these dry. And then I want to kind of give you an idea. So this is going to be the side. And this is where we're going to cover. So this is kind of good that this side got messed up. So you can so you can get a better idea of what I'm doing. We're going to glue them now side by side. And making this house, like I said, I don't know what I was thinking. I originally glued this on. Totally crazy because the drawers won't open right. So this, doing it this way as opposed to how I did the square, which you can look on YouTube, then you do want something to cover it. I was going to extend the chipboard out to the sides and make more of a shaker, but it wasn't working. So, but you still need to cover the sides because you don't want to see your boxes. So that's where our chipboard measurement comes in. If you've got these older boxes from last year, and we sold some at the beginning of the year, you're going to cut your piece of chipboard at 3 1/8 of an inch. Oh, I love the gray cardstock too. But measure. So I measure, and this one is 2 7/8. So I'll cut my chipboard 2 7/8 wide, and we're going to cut it about 7 inches long. So again, measure. Mine's just short of 7. So I'll just cut it short of 7. That's for the smaller boxes. So the smaller box, our chipboard will be 2 7/8 wide and 7 long. And you'll cut 2 pieces of that size. And then we'll measure across the top and we'll go from there. So let's go ahead, keep your rubber bands handy. So now we are going to glue them right next to each other. Super easy, huh? Box is pointing out so that you can open them. And you're going to put a couple of rubber bands, probably 3. Okay. So we need to let those guys dry. They're not going to dry 100%, but it's going to dry enough to hold. So when we put it all together, then it does have, oh, see, whoops. He wasn't quite ready. So I'm going to have to wait on this guy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, see, we put the chipboard, I will have one on the bottom. We're going to make our roof. So I'm just going to cut a strip of my lightweight chipboard so you can see. This is another project I'm working on. I need to move. So let me get this one cut. And again, we may have to do some trimming. We are going to wrap this. So you don't want it to stick over, because when we wrap this with our cardstock, it's going to add just a little bit. So it's okay if it sticks out more in the back. So for me, the 2 7/8 size worked well. By 7. These measurements will all be written up, and they will be put in Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations on Facebook so that you'll have them. But again, measure the width of your boxes on the edge that does not have the drawers coming in and out. If you have the older boxes, it might be 7 1/8. I mean, no, it might be 3 1/8. Sorry. And again, just check and check. So I have 2 of those. Okay, let's try this one more time. Drawers facing out. Hi, Diane. How are you? Okay. Now, see, you don't want any gaps. So if your rubber bands aren't tight enough, go ahead and set oh goodness, set something heavy on there again. I didn't want that to happen. So I'm going to pull that together. That's that one. It's not wanting to dry right there for some reason. Yeah, it's pretty cold here too. It's actually, well, we're a little bit warmer than you are, but not much. We're like 38 degrees, 40, not quite freezing. So with this, it is a little bit of wait time. So I want these to thoroughly dry. So while we're waiting for these to dry, if you have not, let me just go through our Santa's Little Helper. This is the 8x8 size, and lots of fun uses for Santa's Little Helper. Now for the 8x8s, the 12x12s have the big 12x12, but you can do so many fun gifts with this. And then the back side is what I've chosen to put on my drawers. And then of course we have Claus Bakery with the stripes. Now if you're going to make this for your dogs, maybe you want to make a doggy one. This one's really cute with all the pets on there. The baking. And our toy shop. So I'm thinking I may use this newsprint. So I'm going to set that aside. You only need two sheets, if even that, for your, unless, well, if you're using different for the fronts of your drawers. And then there's our little 4x4s, great tags for gifts. And some of you have seen Sally's project, absolutely adorable, where she took it and did the framing. She used the rolling pin and then she did some embossing. It's over on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations, like the green. And then you have your tags. So once you get this made, if it's a gift, then you can just punch out your tags. And look, I use this on the roof, so I'll probably use that again. I want to set it aside. And you've got the cute little squares. And I think I'm going to use this piece on this one. So we've got some newsprint for our drawers, and it doesn't take a lot. And I might be using this on the sides. So I'll put those on top. Okay, hopefully we've got some drying done here. Now we'll remove our rubber bands, but you're going to still use them. So again, if you're not making this right now, it's something you could glue, go to bed, and it'd be really firm in the morning, you know, very stuck together. I mean, it's still, you can work with it now, just be a little gentle. So that's the back. Okay. Now before I get this all together, I'm just going to check my drawers. I'm seeing if they're all facing up. So far they are. Okay, those are. Like I said, again, you'll be able to fix them later. That's the back. I'll be shocked if I didn't get one of them upside down. Yes, you get the boxes at countrycraftcreations.com and just put in the search bar Advent boxes. Now, when you put it together, like I said, these are, I mean, they're handmade and they look a little wonky. Don't let that scare you, because once you get your pattern paper on, that takes care of that. You're going to look at them and see, to me, it's like, oh, they're just not even. They're not perfect. You know, that OCD. And they're not going to be. But you want them close. And when we put the pattern paper on, it takes care of that. So we're going to flip this over and let's glue this side. Thank you guys for posting those links. Bring it up. Again, you need the rubber bands because it's just, it needs to be pulled together. And again, making sure you don't do like I did and get it in between there, or it will separate your boxes. It's not as tight as I want it to be. So if it's not as tight, because you want it to, yeah, there we go. You want it to pull that together. Okay, we need this to really dry. So I am going to now set it aside. Measure the side of your boxes so you can cut your chipboard. Like I said, this is lightweight if you just joined us. You can use a heavier one. It's not necessary. The lightweight one also is going to, see, it forms better. It's going to bend and it's going to give you a little bit of that for even when we wrap it in our cardstock. It's going to give you what you need to form it to the box. So I'm going to set these aside and I'm going to wrap these. And I used the red last time. So actually I did some triple matting because it doesn't take much paper. I wrapped my chipboard in our red, our barn red. Then I did a matting in brown and green. So you can, you don't have to double mat it. I did. I wanted those different layers of color. And once you choose what you want to, you know, wrap your cardstock in, or your chipboard in. So I'm going to use our military green. Check my bottom one. Oh, wow, Diane. That was a good catch. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it gets in there and then it'll rip those apart. Okay, we're good now. Thank you for noticing that. Even though this is 2 7/8, I'm just going to count it as 3. And I want to wrap this an inch on each side. So I'm going to do it 3, 4, 5. So 5 by 9. And I need 2 pieces 5 by 9. And just because it makes it so much easier and it makes it go by faster, you can use glue. I'm just going to use score tape sheets. And we're going to lay the lightweight chipboard right down on those. It'll just make it go by quicker, but you can use your glue. I do glue this onto the boxes. Okay, I have my 5 by 9 piece of cardstock, and I just want an inch, so I'm using the markings on my scoreboard, or you can use 2 of the spacers, but that will work. And let's do the second piece. Now we'll do the top and the bottom after we get a good measurement when they dry. So this wasn't one of those projects, because it depends on the size of your boxes, that I could give you exact measurements on the chipboard to pre-cut. And I'm going to wrap it just like I do my albums. And if you don't have lightweight chipboard and you want to use it, check your, oh my gosh, I get some lightweight chipboard out of my sheet sets, cereal boxes. Check your household items for lightweight chipboard if you're really wanting it and you don't have it, because there's a lot of things in the house that you can use. Or you can just pick it up at Country Craft Creations. It's not expensive. That's the nice thing. And I do use a lot of lightweight chipboard in projects. And I'm using it. We are doing the Remember the Times hop. I'm going to show you my project, just a sneak peek of it at the end. The whole Country Craft Creations team got together, and we're all using one paper line. And we are coming up with 13 different projects. And I think you guys are going to have so much fun. I can't wait. I haven't even seen everybody's projects, so I cannot wait. And that's going to start Thanksgiving weekend. So for those of you who are looking for something to do, because it's sometimes a long weekend, but you're not always Thanksgiving every single day. You might be eating every single day, the leftovers. I know I'll be crafting. So still miter those corners. And now we can just glue those down. I do want my tip back on for this because I don't want to saturate my cardstock. So is anybody creating your box along with me? Or maybe from the older tutorial? That tutorial was like 4 years ago. The cubicle square. And I will, for those of you that can't find it, I will get it reposted on Scrapbookers. But it's an old video. I mean, it's really old. Hi, Lillian. How are you? Oops, so I am just pushing that against the chipboard because you want those, you want it to be nice and tight. Okay, now kind of give a sneak peek of how, see, that's gonna make that look so nice and closed. Oh, can I say it? Yeah, Lillian is actually getting Homer's brother. Do you have a name for him? Right now, the breeder's been calling him Purple because he's wearing a purple collar. You're going to love him, Lillian. Welcome to the Beagle family. Be prepared. At least they'll know where one of Homer's brothers is. And, oh, well, Homer woke up. I didn't even know he went up the stairs. I hope my husband has him. Because he's already potty trained if the door's open. Okay, let's cut out the corners. Wilbur has pretty, for the most part, adjusted. He still wants to try and be the boss. And he does sometimes nip at Homer. He doesn't want him on him. But nothing like when I first brought him home. If a beagle could ignore a person, I mean, I thought he was a person. He didn't speak to me for 10 days. He was not happy about another beagle in the house. In fact, I told my husband if he was a little boy, I think he'd pack his bags and leave. I mean, he was that mad. Okay, get rid of my garbage now. Now when Homer whines, Wilbur does go over to see what's wrong. So I think that I think they're going to be okay together. They play all day together outside, so it's kind of nice for Wilbur to have that. Oh yes, Tanya, that's right. Tanya was here. Oh, but then Wilbur got sick. He got a cold. The puppy had a sneezing. And he did just fine with that, but Wilbur got it and it turned into kind of a hoarse reverse sneeze nonstop. He was miserable, so we had to put him on antibiotics. Of course Wilbur was the one who got really sick from it, but they're all better now. That's right, Tanya was here and he was not feeling good. Well, hello. How are you doing, Adrian? Okay, we've got those two done, but before I even put them on the side of our boxes, it just gives us more drying time. I want to go ahead and do the matting. And what I did is I'm going to cut a red piece. I am going to use red with this. I think I'm going to go red. And then I do want brown. So I'm just kind of getting a look here. And last time, see, I used the trees on the top, on the roof. So I think I'm going to leave these and do it on the roof again. I really like the trees. Let's see, on the roof. maybe we will do something quite different. So just pick out what you think you want. And I think I'm going to go with Toy Shop on the side. So you need to measure yours. Like I said, yours could be a little different than mine. And I think I'm going to go with this instead. 2 7/8 by 7. So I'm going to cut this at 2 5/8 to start, and 6 7/8 long, and I may trim it from there. Need my smaller cutter. So I don't, the dolly cutter, sometimes I can't get those small cuts unless I go from the bottom. Oh, the puppy didn't go upstairs. He hid under the desk. Okay. Well, hopefully Homer will wake up so you all can see him. All right, let me check the length. I'm going to take a little length off of the red, about 1/8 of an inch. And then I'll put the brown on top. So the brown's going to be 2 3/8. If you're doing the triple matting, 2 3/8 by 6 1/2. Now remember, yours just might be a little different than mine, depending on your boxes. I will be using the same colors on my boxes, so don't throw any of your small pieces away like this. I will be using them to double mat the drawers of our box. Okay. And then on top, yeah, definitely we'll use the gifts. I'm going to cut this at, let's do 2 1/8 wide. I think I'll go 2 3/8 wide. Let me see if that will work. I want more of my, yes, that will work. I like that. And then it was 6 1/2, so I'll cut this at 6 1/4. Now this is where this cutter gets a little difficult to read. Okay, so now I'll cut the other side. I'm going to take it from here. I want more of the toy shop to show, so I'll cut a little strip off. And again, I just went a hair over 2 1/8. So I can get that toy shop in. Oops, let's not cut that side. And again, 6 1/4. Okay, so let's go ahead and mat our chipboard. And I'm just using a coffee, the Ranger coffee ink. Last time I used the back where it's more of a shadow, and the back side of Santa's Little Helper is perfect if you like to do junk journals because it's very faint, or you just want it for journaling. You can actually write on there. It's not as, see, it's more of a shadowy effect the way it was blended in. Okay, let's put them all together. Now I'm going to put these on before I put them on the board. And on top of the chipboard. So that red just kind of brings out, it just makes it pop. It is bright. And that is also why I used the brown and the green. I didn't want it to be the main focus with this paper because the paper is a little bit muted, but it needed a little bit of color there. Okay, there's one side, and then we'll get our second side done. Excuse me. And onto the chipboard. I'm throwing glue everywhere. I know, I noticed everyone is so quiet. Either you're all working or you're not there. All right, now we can take the rubber bands off. I'd still be careful. I just wouldn't grab them and yank them. All right, let me put these bands away. Oh, you know, I'm going to leave these. I forgot. We do need them for the sides. So now there's the box. You've got the bottom. And just make sure that it's the right orientation. So we got the sides, the bottom, and the top. But we're going to put the bottom on, the sides on first. And just make sure it's level here. If it sticks up a little bit at the top, that's okay. Now when we go to put the roof on, the roof is hot glued. And it strips like this. So, and it does stay. And then we cover it with the snow. So it works out really well. Should have taken the tip off, but so get a good amount on there. Again, making sure it's level on the bottom. And you can rubber band it again, but then it gets in the way. So I'm going to wait till we do the other side, and I'll rubber band the whole thing while we create the top and the bottom. See, you want the rubber bands there because it's gonna suck it down. So and the second piece. Now I have to tell you, many of us are turning the heat on. I know I am. I even have my space heater on down here. My feet get cold sometimes. So with your cardstock, got a really good person now I talked to at the mill. Things I was never told before is leave your cardstock when you get it, your Artisan cardstock, in the plastic bags it comes in. Don't take your paper out like I do and stack it. Leave it in the plastic. So I'm doing that now to keep it from, you might get these little pops. I just call it, because it's dry. And that's why we need to leave it in our plastic bags unless you have a humidifier down in your craft room. Because when we run our heat, it dries us out. And it's going to dry out your paper. On the bottom. That's why I like the lightweight chipboard. It has a little more flexibility to it. All right. And that's my back. Now we're going to measure the top and the bottom, and we're going to do the same thing we did here. Your top is going to be the same width, of course, 2 7/8, but it's the length that changes. So my length is now 7 1/2. And I want to stay away from the edge just a little bit because that's where I'm going to put the other chipboard when the time comes. You want just a little bit of a gap so we can put that roof there, and it's going to use this chipboard as a ledge. And so you're going to use about 2 to 3 sheets of the chipboard. If you're going to purchase it, go ahead and get 3 or more sheets. Because you'll want one for the back. So I'm going to cut these down, my 2 7/8 by 7 1/2, and I want one for the top and one for the bottom. And that's going to sit nicely. And so again, I'll cut the cardstock to wrap this an inch longer and an inch wider. So I'll just 4 inches or 5 inches. I did that before. 5 inches by 9.5. And we are just repeating the same thing. Using this 4 tape. And we'll just fill that in with our scraps. So most of this is, I like to call this piecework, just kind of busy work. It's not something that you have to really think about. It's just more of a fun project. Put that down more. Now, also one thing I need to show you, we're going to have a piece that we hook back here, and I put it down before we put this down, so we'll have to make that piece too. And I'm trying to decide if we want to put that on tonight or Tuesday. For a minute there, they didn't look the same length. Hello, Dawn. We were talking about the Halloween, creating the Halloween Advent box with this, but the black boxes didn't show up. Of course, we already talked. And they are $1 more per box, which is kind of crazy. But it's so nice to have the boxes pre-made. And this is not something that you're going to just throw away at the end of the season. It's going to last for years. The other ones I made, my other grandchildren still use those two. And they just pack them away every year. There are corners. And we'll glue that down, those flaps down. I think I'll make a Halloween one when they come in, and it may be a little, I don't know when they'll come in, but yeah, when they come in, the black boxes. Oh, because I need to tell you one thing with these. I wouldn't paint them. I have done that. Now you can, but let me tell you, because of the paper that they use to wrap the boxes in at the factory, whoever makes them, they it actually it comes loose. It came loose. So, hi Sheila, totally up to you. You can try to paint them, but it is possible that it'll loosen the paper. And when I did it years ago, that's when I said, we'll just cover them. No, I haven't made the Halloween one yet, Mary, because we're waiting for black boxes. Yeah, I was looking at some of my fall and Halloween decor, and I'm like, I'm kind of sad to put it away. I do like Halloween. All thumbs. Can't believe tomorrow's Friday already. All right, let's get rid of these little bits and pieces. Oh, you didn't. Oh, you named him Milo. Okay. Yeah. We were talking earlier. Lillian is getting Homer's brother. And I can't believe how much Homer's already grown, Lillian. So I think Milo is going to be probably 2 pounds heavier too. But Milo was smaller. Homer was one of the bigger beagles of the litter. And my husband was holding him tonight, and I looked at him. I thought, gosh, he's really gotten big. But you're going to be amazed. These little puppies he's already housebroke. He's 10 weeks old. He goes right out and goes potty. That breeder did such a good job with him. I have to admit, Wilbur wasn't this good. Of course, Wilbur's been spoiled rotten from day one. Okay, now top and bottom. So for the bottom, I'm not going to double. In fact, you don't, yeah, he is smaller. You don't even have to do pattern paper on the bottom if you don't want to. Now the thing to look out for again, if this is my front, you don't want this sticking over the front. So make sure there we go. It's level. It can stick out in the back a little bit. That's not good. That won't hurt a thing. So it's up to you if you want to mat this. I definitely am not going to double mat it for the bottom. But for the top, yes, I am going to do the double matting. And I'm not going to mat this until we put, or I don't want to put this down until we make this flap. So this is the flap that we'll be making to go on the back. And I'm going to go ahead and do the matting, the double matting, all that stuff for it, just like I did for the sides. I'm going to use the brown. Heavens, what color am I using here? Oh, and the red. So red first. Now, mine are 7.5. Yours will probably be, well, yours are going to be more 8. I think it'll be 8 inches if you're using the bigger boxes from the earlier orders. So I'm going to cut this one at 7 7/8. No, that's so 2 3/4. Got a little bit of that. It's so dry, and I've had my paper out of the bag. The bottom, I'm not going to double mat. The browns. Two and a half. Boy, that's about perfect. Take about 1/8 of an inch off the edge, and I'll tell you what my length is. Two and a half is the brown by 7 1/8. Like I said, the bottom one is not going to get this extra matting. Then that will go down in the top. So I would use this for the top, but here's the thing. This faces outwards. That's where I put the Toy Story before. So you need it to be, you need the orientation because it needs to go the correct direction. So for this one, what would be better than the rolling pin? Isn't that just adorable to put there? So our rolling pin needs to fit on the brown, which is 2 1/2. And I'm going to take about 5/8 of an inch off the bottom. Because this is going to be 2 1/4. I'll cut my length here in just a minute because we want it to be somewhat centered. So I'm just going to make the marks with my pencil on the back instead of trying to cut them. That's what I thought. So mine's just about more, 3/8 of an inch, not quite half of an inch on each side. And if you don't have a piece that needs to be centered, then you don't have to do that, of course. I'm going to take a little bit more off this side, 1/8 of an inch, till I get the fit. That's a good fit. And then that will sit straight out, so that'll be really cute on the top. Even though I'll cover it with some cute little of those little Christmas ornament things I show in that video back when Sally and I went live, and it's on Scrapbookers. I don't think we went live. Maybe we did here on YouTube, but it's in Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations on Facebook, and we showed the different cute little miniatures you could get at Hobby Lobby, the Christmas miniatures to put up at the top. And at the end, I'll go grab them so I can show you again, because they're not far. Don't want anything to get on there. Okay. Right now, I'm just putting it on the brown. Well, all I can say, Lillian, with the Beagle Puppy, just be prepared for laughs and every day. Every day it's just laughter and happiness, because these little guys, Homer's already carrying his bowl everywhere, just like Wilbur. And then on the red, it brings out those there's little red berries in the rolling pin. Okay, center that. Now, like I mentioned, we need to put a cover on the back. Yes, he does. So that cover is what's going to cover that back, but it needs to lift up, because when you push and pull your boxes, see, you've got to have somewhere, and gluing it down is not an option. So we need to take the chipboard and also put a hinge on it, and then it goes down before we put the matting on this piece. And then the matting goes on top to kind of hide that hinge. So now we can put our bottom on. So I'm going to take these rubber bands off. And this is going to be our probably stopping point. Well, I'm going to do the drawers with you, and then we're going to create the rest of it on Tuesday. Because I know sitting here for 2 hours can get to you. I mean, I'm okay, but you guys might not be. So again, determine what's the front. Why can't you glue the back down? Let me show you. If you glued the back down, which is what I did when I glued it on, I thought I was being, you can't open the drawers. Once you glue that, if you glue the back onto I was gluing it onto the drawers. And you could build your frame out further and put a thing down, but once you glue it onto these drawers, it won't open. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I mean, because it's stuck. So I ripped that baby off fast and started opening all my drawers. That's why we have to hinge it. This is my front. And I'm going to have the front facing me because I don't want this piece of chipboard hanging over the edge. Now, you could. So I'm going to stop here for a minute. You know what you could? I was going to actually make the hinge, not the hinge, I was going to make the frame stick out more. And then, yes, you could glue it down. But just putting this on a hinge like so, I felt it was the best way to serve the purpose. It's really no big deal. It still will stay down. It's not going to open. And you can use it as decoration. Just turn it backwards. So if you just want the hot cocoa sign. And yeah, a lot of different things you can do. And I forgot, I don't want to put this down yet because I want to show you something. So you can also take your chipboard. Now, you don't have to make it that size. And I do in the older version of where I did the boxes. So you can make your platform so you can have it stick out. I'm trying to get it so you can see. You can make it so it's on more of a base. And then you could do more decorating. Of course, you need to watch out because you got to open your drawers, but you could do decorating on the side, put trees. So you don't have to just do it like I'm doing where I did it the width, but I'm going to put the graphic 45 feet on. So I'll show you that too. You can make a nice big square platform for it. You just, yeah, you can do so many things. Just make it your own. But I wanted it to look, this one to look like more of a dresser kind of. Okay, we're going to do the rubber bands here in a second. I just want to make sure it's not sticking out. Now I'll put my matting aside because we're going to put this on top, and then on Tuesday we are going to create the hinge part for the back and our roof. But we're going to do the drawers tonight. I'll get that started with you. Again, I'm making it flush with the front. And on goes the rubber bands. Okay. Now, when all this dries, you know what? I may not, I did not stick that out. I wasn't thinking, of course. I may have to so no matter what, I'll want that. I may have to make another platform that does stick out for the feet. Because again, I wasn't thinking you have to be able to open the drawers. And I can't open the drawer if there's a foot there. So on Tuesday, I will be doing this again and wrapping it, which is fine. So it does stick out so I can put the feet then on it. But still, I may have to account for the drawers. So I may not use these feet after all. I might just use some, ball feet on the bottom. So I have some cute spools. So we'll see what happens. When you're creating things like this, that's just kind of what happens. It's kind of hit or miss. And then we need to do the drawers. So I'm going to get you started on cutting all your little pieces. And we're going to glue a couple together and then just I'll put buttons as feet. Not buttons. I've got some other cute spools I can use. So I chose 3 different. You can use any different ones you want. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the pieces. This is going on the roof, so I definitely don't want to use that. And I was thinking I want to use the newsprint. Maybe the green, or if I want more red. No, I'm going to go with that. And so I'm going to choose these three. Again, they're going to be directional, so you have to watch that directional. There we go. And the drawers, I didn't really worry about them being, you're not going to see a lot of the graphics. And then again, with the numbers going on, you want it to be, you want to be able to see the numbers, and we'll do them all over the different, different you don't want them to be in order. I can't talk tonight, sorry. And these are different sizes, so I need to measure this. I did not pre-measure. That is so cute. I can't wait to use that. So my drawers are going to be for matting. My first one is going to be 1, and I better write this down. Like I said, I haven't used these box sizes either since these came in. So if you want to measure yours, mine's going to be 1 5/8 long. That's going to be for the red. And it looks like 7/8. 7/8 for the width. So you had all these wonderful little strips. I had a cutter. So we're going 7/8. That doesn't look like 7/8. It's not. Boy, that's really small, so no. See, these boxes are kind of deceiving sometimes. Let's cut a full 1 inch and see what that looks like. Gosh, I could even go a little bit wider. So that was 1 inch. I'm just going to go a hair over 1 inch. So measuring, I mean, you still want to put it down to see what it's going to look like. I don't want a full 1/8 of an inch border. So that looks good. So I cut mine a little over 1 inch, and I'm going to cut it by 1 5/8 long. That's a little too long. That's not 1 5/8. And you want to cut 24 of the red. There we go. No, gonna go a little bit longer. So this is a good use of your scraps. So again, I went a hair over 1 5/8. Can't get it to move. All right, that looks good to me. So I'm going to cut 24 of those. But tonight I'm only going to cut 3 to do with you, to kind of show you what I'm doing. So first, I know my length then is a little bit over 1 inch. I mean my width. Yeah, went over 1 inch. And then I went hair over 1 5/8. Not quite to the next mark. So now I can cut. Especially this one, it's directional. I do throw scraps in the garbage, but no, I mean, okay, I'm working with these and I'll use them. But then when I'm all done, yes, they go in the garbage. Could you imagine with the projects I make if I kept all my stuff? Oh, good Lord. So now, hair under one. I don't want to cut off too much yet. I'm not looking for that 1/8 of an inch border. I just want it. There we go. That's going to look nice with the words. You know, that might be even cute just to do Olive Toy Shop. I think I am going to do Olive Toy Shop. Here's 3 different papers. So I'm going to just do Olive Toy Shop. I really like this. And I'm going to cut it 1 5/8, just a hair short. I hate having to do that, but that's what my box fronts measure out to be. There, that's a better fit. Now, because I do glue, I glued on those buttons, the wooden buttons. You don't have to worry about, we're not going to be poking a hole. Because that E6000, it will hold it. And again, whatever papers you choose, if you're using 3 different papers, then you're going to cut 8 each color. So to get your 24. So I will be just cutting 24 of my toy store or toy shop. And once you get your measurement down, you'll be able to whiz through and just get them all cut. Or you can also use like the front and the back and the front and the back. That really looks like, makes it really look very old-fashioned. You know, that's kind of cute too, because when you cut the back of this, it's actually all of these little cut aparts. Then you get a lot of different things. So I think I really like that. So just, yeah, play with it and see what you like best. Oh yeah, that's going to be cool. Just using one paper and going front, back, front, back, front, back. Okay, I did ink all of those 24 pieces. So we'll just go ahead and I'll ink 3 with you. I do like that side. But I do want to use all the same. I don't ever use all the same. And I think I just want to do all the same. Because I still have a couple more of these to make. I'm going to use Christmas Dreams, the pink one. I've got to make a pink one. And that's going in my granddaughter, that's 5, in her room, because she wasn't born when I made the other one, so she doesn't have one. And I usually just do them for the families, but she's 5 and she's a little princess, so she's got to have a pink one. And her brothers would probably eat all the candy anyway. She's the only girl, so she has to have her own. I know, spoiled rotten. And then I want to make one with Christmas cheer for my husband. With the, he's not a drunk, but I just love the drunken elves on there, right? That one I call my grown-up Christmas. I love that one. Okay, so I have one extra. I'll put that aside and use it. If you are going to do your drawers all different, you'll just have to figure out the pattern. That's too short. Did I do the wrong one? I did the wrong one, and yes, it's going in the garbage. Don't tell Sally. Well, that's how she gets her creative director title, Tommy. And she really can take anything and make something out of it. What does that one So our top and our bottom should be nice and glued. And now we really don't need the rubber bands anymore. Oh, you guys, I think somebody's waking up. Let's see if he's awake. Never mind, he went back to sleep. He woke up to see what was going on. Oh, now make sure your box, well, again, if it's upside down, how do I get some of the drawers upside down and some of them right side up? It don't matter, except it does matter now. So this is the time. Put that in the back. It's a little bent. It's not going to hurt nothing. Now's the time you have to go through before you put anything on these boxes. And make sure they are right side up. Looks like I put one side up, one side down. Hello, Bonnie. How's Mom? So this half is a little bit tight. They are tight, and they do loosen up as you use them each year. So it looks like, okay, that side's right. This side is not. And if you don't like the looks of one side of the drawer, just turn it around to the other. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now, however's easiest for you to work, I just pop it out a little bit and down it goes. And Tuesday, when we do part 2, it'll be at 5:30 p.m. And I will also have the feet. I think I am just going to put, now that I'm doing the toy shop, I've got some spools I want to use. And they were gifted to me last Christmas. She made me a whole jar full of them. They're just darling, so I'm going to use those. But I do need to go to Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to pick up some more of the little 3/8 of an inch. So see, they're the little 3/8 of an inch buttons. And they're wood. You can finish them. You can paint them. I'm not painting them because I thought it looked really good, just natural. Now, when I do the pink one, I'll probably, of course, paint them pink or white. And if I was using the, what is that paper called? It's not Noel, it's the manger one. I would paint them probably a blue or even gold. Gold would be gorgeous with that paper. So I'll do my first 3 drawers with you. And then this weekend, I will have my drawers all finished when we come back on Tuesday. So I will have this all matted. And we need to make our roof. So next week on Tuesday, make sure you have a hot glue gun. I do use the hot glue gun. And then if you're going to do any of the snow, I want to get a couple things and show you real quick. So that's what you'll do, and you'll just keep doing your drawers. And snow. Hold on, I've got snow. Okay. So you've got, I took the crackle, or, oh, that's gesso. It looks like this. Anyway, it is a crackle. This is gesso. You don't want gesso. It's in a jar just like this. It's in my other drawer. And what I did is I went with it, and I'll tell you why I didn't just go with snow. Because it made these peaks. It makes a lot better peaks, the gesso. And not gesso, no, I'm saying gesso. The crackle, it is crackle paste because it did crack. And that's what I wanted. See the cracking? I didn't want it to look so perfect. I wanted that cracking, and that's what the crackle paste Now, Bonnie's on, I don't know if we have crackle paste still in stock, but you can pick it up. It can be any brand. They do have it at Hobby Lobby. They have different brands, but it's going to make these super fabulous peaks. And I used my finger. And I'll show you. Or no, I used a wooden popsicle stick. And then when it dried, I did go over it with the True Snow. And I want to show you what I mean. The True Snow, it just doesn't have that. It doesn't make the peaks. Okay, we are sold out of crackle paste. But you can pick it up. Different brands, especially Michael's. This is a lot more, well, it's like snow. I mean, it's softer. You can tell. It's like this is a buttercream icing and the crackle paste, and this is more of your whipped cream icing. So if you think of it that way. But I did put the snow on top because then I wanted to hide some of the cracking, and that's also when I sprayed the glitter. So the glitter with your mister is going to oh, the texture, I don't, yes, I think it will work, but what color is that holiday texture set, Rhonda? Isn't it black? I have more coming in, but Ranger is, let me tell you what, I wish they'd ship a little faster. I understand they can't, but I wish they would. So you can pick up the snow too that has glitter, but this is like, and I have more of these in stock. This is like its own little air pump, the mister, and it's dry glitter and it squirts it right out. Okay. Oh, then it should work. This is the angel dust, and I believe we've got more coming, but you can also use this beautiful starlight, any of the glitters. So I want to grab the little miniatures to once again show you. When Sally and I did the live, we showed a lot more than just these Santa Claus, because I have the little gingerbread houses too. But let me show you. It's kind of hard because this camera, I don't have it straight on like we did. Anyway, now you've got room, and we had trees. We were showing you guys with the trees. I can't hold on to them. How you can put, and I was going to hot glue them, and then I got yelled at. If you hot glue them, you can't change them out. But I do have the little gingerbread houses and different things like that. So you can put trees up here. You can make all kinds of scenes. Definitely, I'll be doing the baking, of course, the little miniature gingerbread houses. Now, you could also leave the roof off of this if you wanted to. And then you could just put your scene right on top. I just grabbed the little these aren't really miniatures. So when you are out shopping for miniatures, they can't be any taller than 4.5 inches. Velcro dots would be great, yes, so that you could change them out. And like I said, on that live video on Scrapbookers that stayed in there recorded, I show the little gingerbread guys, and you can get them at Hobby Lobby. Okay, and so that is where we're going to end tonight. And for next week, you're going to want, of course, your paper collection. You're going to still want your lightweight chipboard because we need to cover it. And then I'm going to use these 8x8 pieces from the paper collection. And if you have the knobs, now you don't have to have knobs on these either. And I do show that in nailed one. You can poke a hole with your crocodile, or we'll need to go through here. You could put a ribbon. Thank you, Diane. And you bring it to the back, tape it down, cover it with cardstock, and then you could have a ribbon pull. or you can knot it. So you can use ribbon, and you can also use a brad. Gosh, so many different things you can use if you want. You don't have to use anything, because you're able to push it from behind because we're going to leave it open. So you can just tell the kids or whoever, just push it from behind and the doors will open. So don't feel like you have to have the knobs, but they're very inexpensive. Okay, guys, I hope that you will get this far. Now, remember, we're going to put the roof on. If you do want some taller images than these 4.5, I'm going to show you, you can make the roof taller. Yes. Oh, a tab punch will create a finger pull. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, you know what? You're not going to get, you wouldn't, the tab punch, I don't think you're going to get through here. This is chipboard. That's the only problem. But we'll pick up Tuesday night at 5:30. So you guys will get all caught up. I'll get my bottom, what I'm going to use for my feet to show you guys. And we'll continue making our little advent calendar. But as you can see, you could do a lot of these just in one day. It's just this little prep that has to take place. It takes a little more of your time. But if you need to get a bunch of them done for Christmas, now is the time. You can get 2 or 3 done in a day if you're not being interrupted. And sometimes when we craft, you know how that is. People want to eat. People want you to make the bed for them. All those crazy things that we have to do around the house, right? Okay, guys, I will see you Tuesday then at 5:30, and we're going to continue with this. And then let me one more time remind you of our hop with Country Craft Creations, with our calendar collection. The design team we're all putting on the hop, and this is the box I'm going to create with you. And I am using our gold cardstock, and I did some popping up, and I just love the gold cardstock with our calendar collection. This lace, it will be on the website tomorrow. And again, I just did some fussy cutting, backed it on gold, and used a button. This is the back. So for mine, I chose the 4 months for the front that I was most, that I love. I love September because Wilbur was born. March is my birthday. Oh, and this is the Heartfelt Creation, one of the dies. And June, I just love June. All the babies are being born out here in the field, the cows and horses, and of course Christmas. I love the Christmas month. So we're going to create, this is my project for the hop. You're going to have 13 other projects. Can't remember if all the designers, I'm pretty sure they did. And you're going to be able to create such fabulous Christmas gifts. And really, this doesn't take a lot of time. You're going to be amazed. And then in each, you have the 12 folders, and then you'll have a folder inside of each one of your pockets. And you'll be able to put those pictures in, or news articles, whatever you want to put in your memory box, and you'll be able to store those right inside the box. And you can even put a gift in here for Christmas. And I'm really excited. Now, this is going to start over Thanksgiving weekend. So I know for me, I've got a lot of crafting time during that time, and I'm really excited. So I'll be doing mine live on Saturday the 27th, and the schedule's on my YouTube also. So you've got lots of fun things to keep you busy this holiday season. And if you haven't picked up the Remember the Time calendar collection at Country Craft Creations, you're going to want to grab it so you can follow along at the hop, because this box, you have so much paper left over, you can create at least 2 more projects from the design team. And I haven't even seen them all, so I'm pretty excited to see what everybody's created. Okay, guys, I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.